All right, everyone, we are live for AIM Season 2, Round 6. We're in the second half of our second season, which is very exciting. I am joined today by Winters. He'll be joining us in just a moment. And Wally's getting to race in this first race. So our opener series is the X-Bow. This is a fun little car. It's completely stock, except we put on some racing hard tires. So, give it a little bit more grip than the sports softs I think it comes with by default. It should be fun. It's very much a fun little car to drive. Interesting driving characteristics, some good dynamics. But we'll take a quick rundown. Some liveries people have been pulling out. We see Ersto here. He's in a Toy Story livery. Delph's coming through with a sweet looking Nerf one. Big fan of that. Oh, and we're around Watkins Glen short for these cars. Lap time's looking at 112s right now, which is pretty wild, right? Specs, can't quite see what he's doing. They're just sitting on the line. Tony Cal and a Pepsi. Gonna start calling him a Pepsi man. Is that right? Is that Pepsi? Try to get a good look. It is indeed Pepsi man. As he goes wide way there. As he goes way wide. Yuma, good morning or good afternoon, whatever it is by you. X-Bows are on track. We're doing a one-make series for the second half of Season 2. And so X-Bows were this week's one series. We got Steezy coming through now. Is that a Lululemon? I couldn't quite get a good look at it. Let's see here. I think it is. We're giving him shit for having Lululemon money. Yeah, that's fucking funny. Let's see, Wally was going for a very minimalistic, but sponsored by Ames this week. What's his lap times looking like? He's only put in a few. Love to see it. Hey, welcome. What's going on?
Thanks for having me back again. It's going to be an exciting race. I'm happy to be here. And fun, twisty tracks, some danger zones like the bus stop chicanes. And it's looking so far like people are pretty close. We've got Ersto up in the mix. We have Delps just less than a tenth behind him. I'm not sure what times Ardic's doing, but it's pretty close. It's going to be up there in the top 3.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so far, Moose is the one to catch, it looks like.
Moose is the one to catch 2/10 faster than Ersto. 2/10 in these cars is kind of a lot, I feel. But it really just comes down to the twisty bits or the current turns in this car. Because did you get much time at all behind the wheel in this thing?
I only did on a fun time lobby back on a Thursday. I don't think on this track. They're quite fun to drive. They're pretty light. Not too powerful. A lot of grip because of the racing tires.
The racing cars help.
Wheelbase. They're probably. I wouldn't mind if you lose it. You might get some pretty bad snap oversteer and just spin it round. We might see some spins.
We
Delps,
might.
Please, not you.
Yeah, Delph's trying to make up from a pretty poor race before our mid-season break.
Tony here on the grid doing a practice start right now, so hopefully he's not the only one that's practiced that.
Specs is going well. Something, maybe whether that was on purpose or not, we just had some carnage there. Looks like they're having some stupid fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say yesterday I was over my brother's and it felt a little understeery, this car. It doesn't like doing more than one thing at once. And trail braking was non-existent, basically, it felt like. Well,
we're on racing tires. We're probably a little used to that sort of mechanical grip level, but you go into a corner too fast, there's no downforce on the front, I don't think, or maybe very minimal. So it's very easy to carry too much speed and not have a lot of weight on the fronts to really use all of the grip of the tires. And yeah, I can see that. It's very easy to go too quick into a corner with these, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that they're overly fast. I don't think it's that anyone will be surprising themselves with their speed on a straight.
Yeah.
It's more they're very light, a lot of mechanical grip. It'll feel like a race car for quite a bit of the track, but when you go into those high-speed corners, it's going to feel like it understeers, I guess.
Yeah, so actually that corner that Specs just came out of, the one after the bus stop as he goes to the pits.
There especially.
It's really all about throttle control. You're rotating the car with your application or lack of throttle in my limited experience yesterday.
Let's have a look at what the default settings are. So the initial torque 7, acceleration 20, and braking is 30, I guess. It's 40, 60... weight balance in this car, so 60 weight to the rear being an MR car. So Yeah, I mean, the way they typically, we're running a stock, I should say, we're running a stock setup.
Yes.
The default one, very soft setups, anti-roll bars both at 1, damping ratios I think at minimum, for the compression, expansion not too far off, natural frequency very low, 2.0 to 2.20, negative camber at the front, 0.5. These are things you really, this is a setup you have for new drivers in the game. They make them understeer on purpose, so they're easier to drive. It's easier to drive an understeer car than an understeer car. Once you get a bit quicker, it's very frustrating having an understeer car. You're looking at
absolutely.
Max Verstappen, he always wants a car that just pivots on the front. He just wants a super bitey, aggressive front wing. Some drivers are different, but a lot of drivers, they really prioritize turning.
Hey, Winter, we're getting some reports that you were a little low. Could you turn yourself up a bit?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
I'm low because they complained about me breathing last time. So
finding that balance, right?
Turn it up and try not to breathe. Let's see. If Jack can let me know if that's if we're any better now, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, so
I can always turn it up a bit.
Yeah, you definitely can. It's a very comfortable car to drive, like you said, and again, just stock with the racing hards. It's got that grip, which is nice for sure. Maybe a touch more, but that's better, Tony says.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a touch more. Yeah, again, it's a balance, like I was saying. You got the short wheelbase. It's an MR car, 40-60 weight distribution. That's the kind of thing that can flip ground on you in an instant. And so there's one good way to stop that. It's a stock setup that induces a lot of understeer and makes it super soft, so you're going to overload the cars, because when you look at these setups, the second you hit that brake, all the weight goes forward super quick.
So quickly.
It's not progressive. You're instantly completely maxing out the load on the suspension. Nowhere left for them to go. That means you're slipping grip on the front. So that corner coming after the bus stop, you can do that. You brake too hard there, especially. I haven't driven these cars, but in the Manu cars, I think I'm braking maybe 30% there.
Yeah, well, actually, let's take a look. We're on board now with young Carlton, who's just approaching it. Brakes way early, my guy.
Yeah.
Taking a very tame corner there.
Moose is coming around for a flying lap, I can see. I'm not sure where Tony is. Tony hasn't really got many laps in.
Tony doesn't like to give it away in practice, I've noticed.
Yeah, he's too busy trying to set things up and make people behave.
Yes.
Or teach people how to read.
Well, he's got his child in real life he's got to take care of, and he's got to take care of his Ames children too, you know?
Exactly. So we'll see. He'll be first out of the pits here. He's got his foot on the floor. Right now, all about what grid spot you got. We're getting into qualifying, and it's going to be, and it's put me in qualifying.
Oh, shit, me too. Well, sorry, Jen. Sorry, everyone. There we go. I was like, I can't change who I'm looking at.
Yeah. Well, Tony, not first out of the pits, so he's relinquishing that advantage. I think first out the pits might be, if we can find them. Is it Wally? Might have been Wally.
Might have been Wally. Let's take a look. See, yeah, it looks like it. Good for him. He's probably pretty happy with that.
Yep, I mean, he's got to make the most of it. He's going to be being pressured from behind. I'm not sure what kind of times he was doing. Delps, if he's as quick as he's been in some of the opening series, he's going to be trying to push through, getting to the front on the outlap. This outlap's really a racing lap for some of these guys.
Yeah, it is, and you can see Delps gaining on Wally. No shame against Wally. Delps was, I believe, 8/10 faster versus his fastest lap yesterday, so yeah, obviously some pace differential, and that's to be expected.
Tony's made up 6 spots already, so he's trying to slot in behind Delps. It looks like maybe get a slipstream. Hope he's not too much quicker, because these guys, you're going to trip yourselves up overtaking here. Cost you, what, 2-3 tenths of a second? That's the difference between pole and 4th place sometimes.
Yeah, especially in the first, I mean, sometimes our P1 through 10, man, just are quick. While he's losing the rear there, unfortunately. Let's see how Tony Cow gets through.
And it's an interesting corner 2-1 here. You really gotta, I would say you sacrifice more of the entry than the exit. You really want a great exit. You're going long up the hill. Every miles per hour you can carry is going to help you. And you really just want to be brave on the throttle. The second you're at that apex, you full throttle, run it wide, take a bit of steering angle off so you don't lose the rear over that curb.
Yeah,
same here. You got to be brave through the bus stop.
You do.
Tony not getting an ideal line there. Wally's yielding. Delps through. Tony through. But Delps is running a quicker lap, I think.
We'll see as the first times come out. Wally unfortunately having to relinquish that spot. I'm sure he wanted to have that fresh air and, first of all, not impede anyone else, but more importantly, get himself a clean lap away from people. He couldn't make it stick through there. It's not easy. Tony going wide there looked like.
Yeah. And like you say, it's about, there's a bit of pressure there. You don't want to impede anyone. You'll also notice some of the lines they're taking here, different than we'll be taking later on. You don't have there's no, what do you call them, penalties for running wide here. We'll be policing people egregiously cutting corners, but the track limits here are pretty brutal. That T1, you go over that curb, you get a track penalty. Technically, Delps and Tony's last laps wouldn't have counted because they ran over the yellow line on the last corner.
Exactly right. Yep.
And some cars are too wide to do that. These cars are pretty small, so you can run them over the line without hitting the wall.
Let's see. We're gonna jump up over to Arctic. Actually, he's coming up on the bus stop. He treated this really well in the Miatas when we raced them last season. So I'm curious to see how he fares in this.
Yeah, and we'll see how much brake he puts in here. He's putting max brake. I don't know if you have to, but again, I haven't driven them. I know we're not going to be putting in max brake there in the manual cars later, and we'll be going a lot quicker.
Yeah, now it's interesting
but we've got a lot more downforce.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a much different race in the GT3 cars, that's for certain.
Yeah, and as we saw that last corner out at the bus stop, which goes into the long sweeping right-hander, you really want to cut that curb a lot. Get on the throttle, keep your steering wheel straight, because you're basically running over the grass there every lap in the manual race and in this one. And you can really unsettle the car there. You get any slide on, you're going to cook your tires through that long corner, which on the short layout is a lot longer.
Absolutely, yeah. And that only puts Arctic up to P6. We've got some competition here.
And there we go. We saw he ran wide on T1, but you can get away with that. But you might get dirty tires. He might have dirty tires going into the bus stop now.
Yes, that's for sure. Not going to make things any easier.
Running up the order, Moose he's on provisional pole. He's going purple again, 3/10 up this sector. He's got Specs close ahead of him though. And Delps is in second, Shino in third. And everyone's very close together. You run through the order, they're all within a tenth of each other or less.
Yeah, right now between Specs and Marino is basically 3/100ths of a second, which is just incredible to see.
Yep.
I think these cars really do aid themselves to it, right?
Yep.
They are fun to drive, and hopefully tighten it. Yeah, Specs there would be keeping that a lot of time, that's for sure.
Very interpretive line, but he's yielding.
That's right, he's just letting Moose by as he's heading into the pits almost. Not having a good time.
Yep, and Wally improving slightly on
his last lap. Where is he? Let's see. He's up to 11th, which is looking good. Almost 2.5 tenths faster than Demon.
But this is very bizarre. Arctic couldn't improve by much, only improving less than a tenth, and he's still in 8th place. We're used to him pulling out pole laps no one can catch.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Moose seems to be doing that work lately, though, as Moose is quickly encroaching on Wally. And maybe, again, it's just the lack of practice with Wally and I and our exposure of taking different lines in these very different cars, right?
Oh, Tony with an epic overtake there through the bus stop. On who was that? On Shino.
Oh, he's getting feisty out there.
You know, it's hard to say if that was an impeding of a lap. Maybe Shino made a mistake through there, and Tony just snuck through. I think he was still on line.
We have Moose almost taking over Wally here, or maybe Moose is looking to get as much of a draft as he can. We'll see here if he gets a little elbows out.
He's pulled out of that lap, but Tony is about to come round. Delps is about to come round. They'll see if they can improve.
Yep.
I think Tony will improve, but I haven't seen Delps' lap. No, Delps 2.5 tenths down.
Let's see if Wally can improve.
Tony also almost 2.5 tenths down, probably because of that incident with Shino.
Yeah, Wally did not improve the pressure of maybe Moose behind him.
And Specs doing good. He's up in 5th. He's just turned up. Haven't seen him practicing.
Yeah, Specs seems like he was getting a little bit squirrely a couple times here, but he's doing all right. Moose looking very tame in this car today. And he's still almost, 1.5 tenths up on Delps.
Yeah, and the other thing, his second quickest lap is also good enough for pole. So he's looking consistent.
And there's a purple sector one.
Purple.
Yeah. just finding time in these cars, man. Again, you can't rely on their power. It's all about how you entry and exit a corner.
And you see there, the exit was what I was talking about. He ran over you couldn't quite tell from the third-person camera view we have, but I'm watching his onboard, and he lost the rear a bit coming out of there, and any loss of rear traction in these cars on the racing tires, generally not good. You want to keep them in their slip angle, which is really pretty much no slip angle.
Yeah, and there's not much way of turning in this car either. It feels like it's a very short turning, not radius, but you don't have much left to right action. But he's put in a second purple sector. Let's see. Oh, he almost did the 111s. What a lap.
And we'll have to see if the others can catch up. And yeah, you're right. The thing with the way we have the setup here and everything, you're putting a lot more driver inputs in. With a lot of MR cars, the benefits that they rotate better because of the weight. But these cars with the understeery stock setup, you've got to put a lot more steer inputs in. You're not finessing it through the corners. You're not just steering purely on like, well, not purely, but on brake and the throttle. You got to steer with all of them all at the same time. It's quite a large degree.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, though, I gotta say. I really enjoyed. I think I literally did 4 to 6 laps with on Wally's, and it was just a fun little thing to drive. I'd like to do Thursday night lobby of these, or get my chance to race it. It's, you know.
Yeah, and it's all about just you've got to do a lot of the driving.
Yes.
It won't do all the rotation for you.
Let's see what Delps can do here. He's not at the one. It's a little bit slower than his fastest so far, and Tony Cow's not far behind. Where does Tony Cow definitely had a moment? He's not improving his lap there. He can still put in another one, though, so hopefully he can make it count. And Shino's... Look at these times.
What about Arctic? He's 4,000ths of a second off Tony?
He's 4,000ths off Shino.
Everyone's taking T1 very wide now. Yeah, you're right. 4,000ths off of Shino.
Yeah. But still, 400ths off of Tony, it's not a lot. And yeah, that turn one, taking it wide, you have to in these cars, because it just does not like turning in. And at least you can carry your minimum speed. You still need a very good exit, obviously. You know, you want to, especially with these things lacking power, right? You want to be able to go up the hill easily. Yeah,
you just can't sacrifice any exit speed, so there's no one's penalizing you for running wide there. So why wouldn't you?
Exactly right. Exactly.
I would be.
I'm gonna jump up over with Tony, see how he's doing.
Yep. He's 1.3. So, and he's
lost the rear.
He was on a slow lap anyway. He had a very slow lap the lap before, and sometimes you just take a lot of heat out the tires. These tires are made for cars that do a lot of G-forces, that put a lot of energy through them. These cars aren't putting anywhere near as much energy through them, and and that was 10 minutes, so that was the end. So,
yeah, I don't think he crossed the line in time. No, his flashes are on. He was just too slow.
Moose is on a final lap. Delps is on a final lap. Arctic, that's over. But Arctic slipped into third place.
Yeah, exactly right.
2,000ths off Delps.
I know.
So well done, Delps. There's no tuning here, no nothing. It's you in a stock car with some sticky tires. So very commendable. Delps back up there.
Pato put in a 1:14.4. That's a new record for him.
And we'll see if Shino can improve. He's looking to. He only needs half a tenth to improve on Tony.
Tony could be starting lower than we thought. Tony starting outside the top 3 is very rare, isn't it?
It is, and he could drop down further still. We have Shino about to come around the last corner now.
Yeah, we're gonna jump on board with Shino after Delps makes let's see what Delps can do. Delps does not improve,
but he doesn't need to.
He doesn't need to. He's got the 2,000ths gap, and Shino also not improving. Shino
and look at
Moose's
lap times. That last one, he's been within a tenth of his pole time for 1, 2, 3, 4 laps in a row.
Yeah, that's just wild to see. And more of his laps were in the 112s than anything else.
Good luck catching him up, and Shino not able to improve there. So it's really interesting qualifying we've had. Moose obviously got the consistency, got the pace. People are going to have to find that. Hell, I would have parked it up and just watched his onboard for the rest of qualifying.
Yeah, try to learn us a little something, right?
Yeah, you know, because with these cars, it could be anything. It could be where you're shifting. I don't know what the gearboxes are like. Maybe it suits a double shift, like the Radical. Maybe Moose is the only one who's figured that out. The only way you know is by watching.
That's a good point, yeah.
When Moose was in the same car as me in the menu, often I would watch him and see, is he exiting the corners in the same gear as me? Or, you know, for better or for worse, can I be doing it better? Can I gain some time relative to him? He's going to be the main competitor. Or where am I losing it? And
yeah.
Moose should say had a lot more laps in the practice session. I thought Urso would do better because he was right up there.
He was right up there, yeah.
Still, he's only 6/10 off, and Moose is 3/10 off everyone, so he's only 3/10 off P2.
That's a good point. That's a really good way to look at it too. You might say, "Oh, I'm so far off first," but Moose is just freaking wildly quick in here.
Yep, and again, the top 10 about a second off. Steezy P9, 9/10 off, so it's very close. Well done, Delps is there celebrating in the chat. Let's hope you celebrate again in half an hour's time.
That's exactly right. Let's hope that.
No putting it in the wall, Delps.
No funny business, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the results here. Make sure the commentators aren't on the grid for the race start. I wasn't readied up at all, which is the weird thing. I had just entered the course before, and it was calling me readied up, which is why I was in qualifying.
Do I need to quit? I think I might need to. Oh, it's kicked me out the lobby.
Yeah, I'm still. Maybe I should exit the lobby real quick and then rejoin.
You can always just take yourself off the grid, I guess, as soon as it starts.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick look at the results here. Moose with a 112.1. I thought he might have been in the 111s at the end of that lap, but followed by Delps, Arctic, Tony, not a veteran, Specs, Race Team Marino, Ersto, and then Steezy and Demon round up our top 10.
I don't see how. I just exited and joined the lobby again. It seems like I'm still entered. It's a bit strange.
Well, we'll just have to exit right away. You know? Yeah.
Or sneak appearance. You never know.
Yeah, I'm in a completely different car, but it'll be fine.
T1's going to be fun.
T1's going to be great. Did Moose have a toe for that pole lap?
Tony, I regret to inform you, Moose was in clear air and did 4 lap times within a tenth of each other at the end.
Yeah.
So, sadly, no toe.
yeah. He is fucking quick. That's it.
I wish I could tell you, but I have to say everyone's running wide T1. So if you're not running wide T1, run wide T1, and run wide last corner without hitting the wall, I guess. So that looks like where the differences are going to be in terms of lines here.
That on the bus stop,
versus
right?
the race later. And yeah, the bus stop. I mean, you can cut that anyway because the track limits here, they're interesting, but really you want to cut it quite a lot. Even in the manual race, there's a couple corners there we're really going to cut. You're going to be on the other side of the yellow line. Obviously, you don't want to go on the grass, apart from the exit where you do run over the grass and you just got to be really careful to not have too much steering input and lose it. And same with these guys in these cars. I imagine you have too much steering input going over there. You just, the rear steps out for that long right-hander, and you don't want that because you need to enter that with your tire temps as low as possible, because that corner is going to just build your temps the whole way round. And
it's
you just
constant
need to
friction.
carry as much speed. Yeah, and if you look on an app which shows you your tire temps, you'll just see them rising and rising. So
we have an Ersto fan in chat saying he's sexy and rich. I haven't seen him in real life, so maybe. We just don't know. And Delp's looking for points for qualifying because of his good qualifications that he's had. Wouldn't that be nice?
I'd have to ask Gus to prove it.
Yeah, I think Ersto's got to show up or,
We have a Clips and Pics channel on the Discord. Prove it.
Yeah, it's not just for feet pics. I mean,
Can you get points for qualifying, please, Delp? So, turns out you can if you stay in the position you qualify in through the race. So
there it is. Yeah.
Don't put it in the wall, okay? If you're losing the rear, let go of the throttle, straighten the wheel. Don't keep planted like usual, okay? You've had plenty of practice correcting this.
Shut up. So. Can you get bonus points for feet picks? Depends on your feet, brother. You don't want to see my feet. That would be negative points. And I guess you do get a point for qualifying if you get provisional pole, right? Or pole position, I should say.
Yes, you do get a point.
Yep.
So you 3/10 extra pace from your delps, and you would have had a point.
So close, so close.
You're pole of the rest there, I have to say.
All right, let's see if I have to exit and
Yep.
Oh yes. Oh, come on. Let me start and quit.
Oh. Well, here's our grid. I'm not on the.
Okay, I just took myself out.
And let's see, good starts from. Really good start from Arctic there. Arctic
And
already
Tony
up into
Cal
P1.
having a run.
And Tony.
Holy.
Wow, Tony on the
Ersto
inside.
too.
Arctic. We know they can run wide here. They're all gonna run this wide, aren't they? Moose, the only one running wide.
Yeah, Shino going a little bit wide. Steezy as well, trying to take advantage of it. Wally up on the inside, getting a little bit of squirrel. He's got a tire in the dirt and was pushed a little bit, I think.
Oh. And it's going to be, it looks here, between Moose and Tony going into the bus stop. If anyone can get side by side, I'm not sure if they're close enough. They might be. But you don't want to lose it going in here.
I seem to have lost the ability to have my, like, you know, actual camera view, it seems.
Oh, you can't cycle through the views?
It doesn't give me the option. It gives me the chase cam, the cockpit view, the bumper view, or the hood view.
Oh,
there's no
that's very
cinematic
odd.
camera. Yeah, that's a bit of a pain in the behind.
You're hitting the R1 bumper?
Oh yeah.
Oh, can you exit out and then come back in?
Let's try it real quick.
And Arctic already 4/10 up ahead going into the final corner. We've got Tony not too far behind him, of course, but
look at this train though forming right there.
Delps into 3, Specs into 4. What's happened to Moose? Moose has been pushed somewhere.
Yeah, Moose must have had a moment.
He's down into 6th place, and Ersto and Specs side by side into
Specs
T1.
on the inside, taking that position. Thank you very much.
We're going to do both running it a bit wide. Moose is going to be looking to get the toe up the hill, but Ersto's got a toe too. 3 wide into the bus stop, please.
Let's see it once again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're falling into line, trying to. Who's going to make the move? Who's going to be brave here? We think.
Tony's pressuring Arctic into the bus stop, but he won't do it.
Moose is going for the inside
Ersto.
there.
He's going to do it.
Oh, he slips in right in front of Ersto. What?
Oh, and he tapped Specs, I think.
I had a feeling.
I think he came off the throttle there, and he's bumping Specs now to. Maybe it's a way of saying sorry, but just give me the place. I need to get back up to first.
yeah, exactly right. Specs going mega wide there. We're seeing cones flying around.
Specs got a few bumps there, and he won't be happy. He lost a lot of time.
Yeah, he lost a lot of places.
9th place now, and that just shows how close they all are together.
Yeah, which is great, right?
And ahead of him, you got Carlton through, Shino through, Ersto through, and then Ersto, Steezy snuck up there.
Yeah, Steezy finding his way up the pack.
Moose has got his hazards on. I'm not sure if
might have been an accident on press.
Yeah.
But he's leading that pack right now, I'll tell you that much.
He's definitely just put them on accidentally.
Yeah. I think he's heard us. He's took them off now. Oh, no, they're still on.
Well, it's a bit strange. There should be a flashing orange light in his cockpit because he uses VR.
Exactly. No, they took that away too in VR, you know?
No, but on the dash. I can see it. If you go on board with Moose, you can see... Oh, he's just taken off.
Oh, let's see how he does this bus stop while we're at board. Yeah, so taking it very tight, actually, on the inside there.
Not the start he wants, but fun for us, because we get to watch him catch up, and we know he has the pace too. We know he has the consistency too. Not the race start he wanted. Some of these guys are going to be running traction control 1 on the rear at the start. Other guys just trying to generate some wheel spin just a little bit. Hard to know who's quicker. You know, we're only racing these one time.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting practice scenario, right? Because, you know, oh, here's this car maybe that you've never driven before and you have to learn it, and then you just forget it, right?
Exactly, yeah. And who's going to, you know, go into a test lobby on, you know, the long oval and very wide from Tony there, off the track. And you know, time, oh, am I going to save 2/10 into T1 this way, you know?
Exactly right. Maybe. Some people might. And we're going to keep an eye on that gap from Delps to Moose. It's around 2.5 seconds right now. I'm curious to see. And again, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Arctic doing Arctic things now, 1 second ahead of Tony Cal. And that gap between Tony and Delps has shrunk probably just because of the bus stop. You know, you have a better line through there. It could make or break you.
Yeah, I mean, Tony and Arctic, they're not getting away from Delps, which shouldn't be surprising as Delps was P2.
Exactly.
Delps has just got to focus now on not making any mistakes and just catching up, letting them make the mistakes. They're going to probably fight at some point.
Oh, I'm sure. As we see that gap already down 0.2 from where it was at the top of the hill. So
Yeah.
Moose putting in the work. I'm curious to see how long it's going to take it to catch up to them.
Oh, another fastest lap from Moose and only few hundredths off, yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking wild.
I can't remember the qualifying pole now.
I think it was 112.1.
It was, so
So
he's
he's
matching his
500th
qualifying poles, and yeah. And like we said, he was doing lap after lap with that time, and going above. Best Delps he's done is a 12.4. Best, which makes sense, 0.3 off.
Yep.
12.3 from Tony, so he's found some time, or he's found the edge of the track. And Arctic, his fastest times is 12.4, so he's definitely not the quickest, but he's got the most consistent 3 laps after the opener.
Steezy's all over the rear end of young Carlton, who we're on board with right now. Steezy had a really good line through the bus stop, and then actually looks like he maybe messed it up on the exit of that long right-hander. But I think young Carlton may not be long for P6. We'll have to see as it continues going on. Marino is a second behind them.
Well, we should say too about Steezy, he must have dropped back or had a moment, because he was up in 5th, and now Shino is quite a bit ahead of both of these guys.
We're going to keep dropping back. Specs currently in his own race, 2.3 seconds behind Marino and over 3 seconds ahead of Ersto. Ersto must have had a moment too.
Yeah, he must have. And if I can say something about Marino, I was talking to Marino and helping him with this car setup in the Manu race later today. He's driving the McLaren, another MR car, and we have tuning in that series, so they really do rotate a lot better than these. And I know he was struggling even with the setup for understeer, so he might be finding these cars with the stock setup quite hard to drive when he's used to a car that just does nearly all the rotation for you, just on the brake.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. You put all your practice in on the GQ3 cars, and you come on something that feels radically different. The polar opposite of what you're used to, right?
Yeah, and it's a completely different way of braking, a different time you get on the throttle, and a different steering angle. I mean, with those MR cars, sometimes the way these guys set them up, lower rear wing, maybe a mid differential setting, and they rotate. You just hit the brake and they'll rotate with with a couple degrees steering angle. These guys are going to have to put a lot more than that in.
As we saw a clean overtake there, Pato going wide, just let Demon slip on in and take P12. Again, Demon must have had a moment with someone because he's way in the back.
Yep. And
Wally,
Marino's ahead of Steezy, though, and chasing Carlton.
Well, how about that?
He's in a sandwich right now with them running up the hill.
I'm curious to see this run up the hill with Demon, see if he's going to make any impact on Wally, and then we'll jump up front again.
Oh, I have to say, Steezy's making a move on Marino into the bus stop. Side by side through there, and Steezy's made it stick. He's got the place.
He did. Look at that. Yeah, I jumped up and he was already up there. How about that?
But Marino's going to want to finish P6 at least here. Shino's too far ahead now. He's built a 5-second gap, and he's not that far off Moose, really. I mean, Moose is getting closer to Delps, but...
Yeah, what's the gap between Delps and Moose right now, if you can?
It's under a second now, and
wow.
Again, Moose he's not really lost much time. He's put in more 12-1s and 12-2s. Delps very wide, but and
the race is not even, it's just about 1/3 over. Moose has got plenty of time if he's going to keep up that rapid pace.
Yeah, and a couple slow laps ahead by Tony, one slow lap by Arctic. I mean, I say slow, they're still 12.8s, which is quicker than anything anyone below P5 is doing.
That's right,
yeah. Oh.
Is Marino going to have a look on Steezy here? We're on board. The gap is diminishing as we're approaching the bus stop. Who's going to be brave? It is not Marino today.
He just needs to build that gap, get in the stream, and try have a run up the hill from closer. I think he needs to be a bit patient here.
Yeah, he may have another go at it next lap, because this is looking very similar.
He was very good through that long right-hander. He was patient there.
Yeah.
One thing I've been telling him to do. I think he's gone the wrong way, though.
Should have went for the inside.
But yeah, one thing I was telling him was you really have to be a bit patient. Listen to the tires. I told him turn your tire volume up. Listen to them, because you know we're in sim rigs. They're not moving around. You can't tell when you're losing grip, when you're at peak grip. And is he going to take Steezy T1? No.
He backs out once more as the rear is now. He's sliding all over the place.
Very interesting. A lot of drivers would have thrown it up the inside there, I think.
Yeah. Maybe he just doesn't trust the car.
We missed, unfortunately, Moose getting past Delps.
Holy, it happened already.
And they both had a very slow lap. Delps had a very slow lap, so I don't think we missed much. He had a 13.9 last lap, so yeah, over 1.5 seconds slower.
Let's see.
But Moose is really catching Tony, and Moose's pace is a lot quicker. He should have him within the next lap.
Man, that is astounding to see. We're going to jump aboard with Moose. Oh my God, Moose is right there. You were not kidding.
And Tony's definitely lost some time here, because Tony should be closer to Arctic than 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Tony must have had a moment.
If you look at his last 3 laps, they've all been slow. They've all been 12.9. His last lap of 1:14. He's just let Moose through.
That's right, he did.
I think
he's gonna look for the toe. I think he's gonna just take it and maybe go with it. You know, see if they
Tony
can't work together.
Both very wide, but I think Tony knows this race is probably against Delps.
Yeah.
Moose is 0.3 quicker. He heard us on the stream. We told him.
I'm curious to see now if Tony Cal's going to try to bump draft Moose at all.
Yeah. I think he'll just bump him.
Yeah, he's flashing Moose too.
Moose should be experienced enough here to know not to defend like that. So I think, yeah, with the flashes, he probably knows, yeah, I don't have to defend. We just got to catch Arctic.
Yep. Let's try to catch Arctic. Look, Tony Cal's not even able to keep up with Moose right now. A half second ahead.
No, and
6 cents.
Moose has been going 3/10 quicker than everyone, and that's on their best laps. And Tony's put in a couple pretty poor laps for him.
Yeah, that 1:14 last lap definitely hurting him. That's part of the reason Moose was able to catch up to him so quickly. And Tony Cal probably just said, you can go ahead. But now the gap is just going up. Moose is just too quick in these, man. I can't believe it. I mean, I can, but I can't.
He is, and he wasn't the quickest in the GRs, I don't think, was he? But in these, he's kind of got the pace in these that Arctic had in the GRs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Even though Arctic's in the lead.
Well, Arctic's in the lead, but we'll see for how long. It's currently 3 seconds, but we saw how quickly Moose evaporated that 2.5 second lead by Delps.
Yeah. Arctic also a couple poor laps here, the last couple. Not as consistent, but Moose has also not been that consistent. He's not able to keep it in the 12.1s. I don't know if the track is warming up a lot. Did we start it the morning? I think we might have. I know early morning start is for the Manu race, but let me check.
All right, excellent. Yeah, and it could also just be him having to interact with other drivers rather than just
Yeah,
run his own race.
We started late morning 4 times, so over the course of the race it's going to be 2 hours. So as the race is going on, the track's getting warmer, and lap time should suffer a bit because of that.
We'll see. He's already cut out 3/10 to Arctic.
Yeah.
Moose is a man on a mission. As we see Tony Cal and Delps having a fight right now at turn 1. Tony's on the inside, so he'll keep 3rd place, but Delps is not going to keep it there for long.
Yeah, great position there from Tony. And Tony just has to stay on the pace. I think it was wise of him not fighting Moose for this reason.
Exactly right. Otherwise, Delps would have been right there in the mix, and no one would have benefited. Well, Delps would have benefited, but,
Let's see the lap times here. Yeah, Tony's been really struggling the last few laps. And as the track temps are coming up, you're not going to be able to take the same lines as you were, which means a mistake. And one mistake a lap, that's 3, 4, 5 tenths right there. And
exactly.
Before you know it, your opponent is 3 seconds up the road over the course of a couple laps.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Those tiny mistakes keep adding up. Actually, who do we have here? Marino is ahead of young Carlton.
I'm not sure where that happened. It must have...
Well, we're paying attention to the guys up front, but Marino having a good race.
And I had to say, Shino also is catching up to Delps. He's 3.3 seconds.
Yeah. And he's going to benefit for sure from Tony and Delps fighting.
Well, Carlton's got a good run on Marino out of the last corner, though. I think he's going to try take him into Tier 1.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't. Yeah, he's going for the inside there. That's the right place to be.
But
and
maybe Marino can make it stick. Because you can see, Marino didn't really need to yield so much speed there, because as we know, everyone's running wide and you can just stay on the outside. But
we'll see. I'm curious to see where he's getting these overtakes done, considering, you know, we've seen him be a little bit timid at the more common overtaking positions.
Marino hit the rev limiter there, and for some reason he's bumping him and not trying to get alongside him.
Maybe he knows that he can overtake him realistically, and maybe Steezy is more of a threat to him.
It could be. The lap times are fairly comparable. Carlton's slightly quicker, but they're only just putting in quick laps now.
Oh man, it looks like Wally must have had a moment. He's back behind Pato right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, their lap times are actually, Wally's average lap time certainly seems to be faster.
He had a 124 down in lap 7.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's almost lost it again. That's what we were talking about. Coming out, when you take too much grass there, you lose the rear when you come back on the track if you have too much steering input.
Yeah, that must have been it. Hopefully he can recover it, though. He's got just under half the race length to go.
Oh, Delps is up ahead of Tony again.
These two second. And the gap
Tony had a very poor lap of 14.8.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to help him.
And he's now got over a second gap. And Shino is what? 1.5 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Shino's not far behind.
Shino's just been minding his business, putting in quicker lap times than Tony. Last time Tony put in a quicker lap time was on lap 5, and we're on lap 13.
Yeah, Tony just, maybe it's the car. He said he didn't get a lot of time in these cars.
No, and we didn't see him at all in practice.
No, okay, so it just must have been one of those weeks.
And it probably doesn't suit him, this car. It's, you know, the stock setup, very soft. We're all used to driving much stiffer cars, especially on race tires.
Yeah, that's for sure, and yeah. It's still a fun car to drive. I do enjoy it. It's similar to the Miata we drove last season. It takes a very different approach to driving it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that is something that I usually praise Tony for. His adaptability and doing it quickly. Again, not that he's slow. He's running at P4, fighting for P3.
Yeah, and he's back down to a 13.1 in terms of lap time, which is about where he was before his mistake. But look at Shino. He's doing a 12.5, 12.6, 12.7. Those are just his last 3 laps. So, you know, he's half a second quicker. Yeah,
Shino's having a good stint. That's for sure. Let's see what else is going on. We just see young Carlton and Marino racing once more. They're approaching the bus stop. Yeah. And Marino did not have a look at it. Young's going to keep 6th place. And he's been in 6th for most of this race, I feel like. He's having a great race.
Yeah, they've all been around here. Specs got up to 5th at one point, but now he's down in 8th. And he's, I mean, I can hear he's putting way too much steering angle in there. You can hear the tires screaming. And Ersto is catching up to him all this time.
Yeah, Ersto
with a 12.5. I mean, that's quicker pace than...
That is quick.
Then, I mean, that's enough to be in the top 3 right now, or top 4.
Yeah, yeah.
And Delps' lap times are dropping off. Delps, if you're listening, just keep focused.
He's always listening.
Keep your focus. Don't let the lap time slip too much, and don't overdrive when the track gets hot.
Ersto going incredibly wide at the exit of turn 1.
Well,
certainly
now we know where the lap times are coming from.
Yeah, man went so wide, I think he was trying to touch the wall.
Oh, and Tony has just been passed by Shino into the bus stop.
Wow! Oh, I wish I was able to go back and kept that.
And Tony's right on the bumper of Shino. Sorry, we missed that.
It's tough. It's tough. Well, you know what? I'm glad we have multiple things on track happening, though. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Certainly makes for an entertaining race. It's Tony going wide there now he's at the penultimate corner.
And let's see, I think that's just the lap time difference, you know. Shino's been finding the pace all through the race, and he's got better pace than Delps, so we got just over 10 minutes left, and Shino's going to be catching up to Delps before you know it. So Delps has really got to focus. He's just put in a 12.8. That's a quicker lap. But we got Shino's on 12.8s too, so really it's whoever makes the mistakes here. 2.5 seconds can go very quick, and it will be Tony's actually coming up to make an overtaking move on Shino.
Yeah, and he's on the
Delps
inside.
is going to be loving this. This is going to save Delps.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And he makes a stick.
Ah, very clean move,
But
that's for sure.
he's carrying a lot more speed in the bus stop than he's used to.
Yep,
So,
and let's see, he slowed it down. He's controlled it well, yeah.
We know he's a drift king, and we saw him drift his way out of the bus stop there, and Shino just not able to follow. That's 4/10 off from Shino right there.
Yeah, very quick indeed. And I saw Tony gain some time on Shino just in turn one. Again, your line's making all the difference around here, in these cars especially. I mean, every car, but these ones, again, they're lower on power and lower on just downforce and everything.
They are, and I think Tony's been taking the wider line out of T1, which later he's not going to be able to do. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly right.
We'll see what he does here, how wide he goes. That was very respectable.
Yeah,
it would have been a penalty, but
yes. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? It would have been.
Yeah, but you know they wouldn't be going there if it was a penalty, and anyone can do it. There's only so wide you can go before you slow yourself down anyway.
I'll tell you what, we definitely missed Moose Man overtaking Arctic.
What? Whoa!
And that happened. It took around 2/3 of the race, but it happened. Moose caught all the way up.
God, we're missing all the overtakes. We're not doing a great job today. I'm sorry.
We have 1 week off and we're washed, apparently.
Moose, let him back through.
Yeah, let's see it again. I gotta say, I love the helmet design on Arctic, though. That is very cool to see.
Let's have a look.
I love this little angle.
Color coordinated.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, yeah. But now Moose has just pulled away. He's already gained 6/10 since the overtake.
Yeah, and he's been putting in some very quick laps.
Yeah, looking good. Let's see. Is there any? Nope. There it is. It just ever increasing now.
Gosh, you really miss the replay function when we miss things, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I had to hook up my keyboard to my PS5, so then I'll have better controls over this all.
Can we do replays on the PS5 with the keyboard?
With the keyboard, yeah, we should be able to.
Ah, the replay's actually built into GT7.
Yes, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's just you don't have access to it on a controller, but they don't tell you that.
Oh, Tony's lost it through the bus stop.
Oh, Tony and Shino's right up there now.
Unless he's showing off.
Yeah, that's possible too.
You ain't gonna catch Delps like that, but Delps is struggling up there. Unless these guys are just quicker. No, Delps' lap times are good. I mean, he's doing everything he can. But
let's see, does Shino have a look here? He's not on the inside.
Quicker. Ooh,
going for the long way around, though. It's not going to work here.
No, they're slowing each other down, and Delps, you got 7 minutes.
Delps, stick it out. We're gonna jump down the board real quick and see where everyone else is at. We got young Carlton behind Marino now, but they're still so close. This has been a fight, I think, most of the race.
Tony, you gotta stop going that wide.
Call him out.
Shino's gonna take Tony, it looks like, or is he gonna bump him? He might. Yeah, he's bumped him.
He's bumped him. And we saw young Carlton take Marino at turn 1. So these two are continuing to fight, and behind them, Ersta was right up behind Specs.
Yeah. And we'll see Tony taking a safer line that time.
Can't blame him. Maybe he pushed it a little too much last time.
Specs in us, so we're close, yeah.
Any moves happening here at the bus stop? Doesn't look like it. It still remains Carlton, Marino, Specs, Ersto.
And Ersto's going to look to capitalize. He might end up in P6.
He very well end up in P6.
He's got the pace too. He's been catching them up.
Let's see here.
Marino and Carlton very close.
Very close through there, yeah. And is Marino going to make a move on turn 1? Let's see, because Young made it happen. Can Marino
he's
respond?
a lot quicker. He
gave up the inside again.
Off. Well, he couldn't get over there, I don't think. But Marino, the outside, there's no track limits. Just send it.
Yeah. Oh, Ersto is fully sending it. Oh my God.
Oh wow. Well, we've added the wall ride to the. Didn't think I'd see a wall ride this race.
Did not have that on my bingo card, right?
Not an intentional one.
Holy. We'll jump on board with Ersto again as we're approaching this bus stop. He's still too far off specs, I think, to make a move.
Oh, Tony's being passed by Shino, or in the process of being passed by Shino. And Shino's back ahead, and Delps is only 2.3 seconds ahead, and there's 5 minutes to go.
Man, we might see it here. Let's see the gap. Yeah, Moose is just pulled away now. Arctic, though, can very well keep P2 most likely. And we'll just have to see if Shino can make it up to a podium finish.
Yep, Shino's going to give it a go. 2.3 seconds, 5 minutes.
Let's see, I'm just checking from the back of the grid. Pato, Wally, Demon, Steezy, all running lonely races right now. Most likely all their own worst enemies. As Ersto's getting sloppy there on the exit of the last corner, and he is way behind specs now, almost a second behind as they're approaching turn 1. That's not going to help him. I'm curious to see if this incredibly wide line is actually
Marino's
getting him every time.
Marino's got a good run on Carlton going up the hill.
Yes, he does. Let's see it happen. Ersto, I don't know what he's thinking, but he's losing so much time with that wide line.
Oh, is he running that wide on purpose?
He must be, because he just did it again.
Well, that goes to show that there's a limit to the advantage you get from running wide.
Oh yeah. Let's see what's going to happen here. Marino technically ahead of Carlton, but yeah, he gives it up because of the inside line there. Carlton taking it right back. Marino's got to be getting frustrated at this point.
Well, so Marino maybe does just have to force a move.
I mean, so.
We are racing, and you don't want to dive bomb anyone, but it's well within racing to force moves, force people to get out the way. Not through bumping them, but just through going, this is my part of the track now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to be a bit aggressive at times, right?
You have to go, this line's mine. Like, God, find your own.
Yeah, fuck off. Let's see here once more. Young is on the inside. We're going to take this from Young Carlton's perspective. Marino's got such a better exit there, but again, just cannot make it stick.
Yeah, Marino should just be running wide on his outside there, I think.
I think so, too. I think going that wide is not detrimental to your race pace.
No. But let's see. Tony's still drifting through the bus stop. Delps is only 2 seconds ahead now. Moose and Arctic very static up at the front.
Specs is in this mix now.
Marino's going to send it into Carlton.
They keep it tiny, but now
he's gone wide, and I think Carlton has to yield that now.
I think so. Yeah. He's got the dirty tires. I'm surprised he just didn't yield for
And
Specs.
Ersto's and Specs are coming up close. Oh, Ersto's going to take them all.
Oh, shit, here it is.
And look at that. Carlton's gone down from P6 to P9. 3 places in
just
one corner.
Just like that.
And that's what we were saying before. You lose the rear over the grass into that turn, and you lose so much time. Your tires are cooked. There's not much you can do.
Marino has got to be enjoying that fresh air, though, right?
And you just got to hope Specs holds Ersto off, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Ersto's looking feisty. But let's see. Now, again, he's got to be gaining so much time.
3/10.
See how wide Ersto's going once more.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to caution Ersto for that, even though I don't think it's quicker, but...
I don't think so either, but you can't be taking that much advantage of the lack of track limits in the series.
I should probably write Ersto track limits.
Yeah, that's a good call, I think. Because you can't just be doing that repeatedly. We have them off for closer racing, not taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
I want to jump up board, but first I just want to give some screen time to Wally. He's doing it. He's holding his own. His times have been a little in the 13s and 14s, but He's doing it, and that's good. And Pato back here again in the 14s. So Pato just a little bit slower, consistently slower than Wally.
I have to put it in a few times.
And let's see. Yeah, good call there.
Just because it disappears so quickly.
I know, especially during a race. Come on.
Let's watch him here. Is he gonna run it that wide again? He's doing it again.
Yeah, that's just. I guess he feels like that's his fastest route, which is a really interesting one to take. But we see here now, Shino's not going to make up the 2.5 gap because here is the 30 minutes. So this is their final lap. We're going to jump on board the Moose to see our Victor cross the line. I mean, what a race from Moose. What a race from Moose.
Marino can hold Ursto off, but I think Ursto might be having a word after. Yeah. And yeah, well done to Moose coming across the line there. And,
Arctic takes home P2.
Arctic. And dominating drag from Moose there.
Yeah, absolutely, and Delp's taking home P3.
Yeah, and what a drive from Moose. I mean, he went all the way back down. Well, he was all the way down, and was it P6 at one point or something?
Yeah, he was low.
And he made his way back. Let's look at his lap times. I mean, he was doing phenomenally.
Marino takes home P6. Yep. Nice finish for him. Ursto P7. Young Carlton P8. He made up a spot. Steezy next to P9. Specs all the way back at P10. So that's the spots that that they were able to make up there. That's quite unfortunate.
Well done to Marino finishing in 6th. And
that's it. That's a good finish. Demon not having a good day, and Wally and Pato were a lap down.
I think Ursto might be getting a track limits penalty for that.
Yeah, that was a little bit egregious in my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, we have him off to increase, close racing, not take advantage of them.
And
I got a clean race bonus. Hot damn.
Lap won the race, and I think he had fastest lap, but it's not showing.
He did. 112.1. He matched his quali pace, basically. I think that was still 500ths off, but that was a pretty early lap of his, too, in this race. And so we had Moose take home P1, Arctic P2, and Delps P3. What a finish.
Well done to Delps again, and Delps kept his cool. Shino and Tony were fighting behind, and yeah, well done.
Absolutely. And then we'll just take a look at the rest of them. Steezy, Specs, Demon, Wally, and Pato. Yeah, Tony Cal saying he couldn't figure this car out. I definitely understand. Yeah,
it's a tricky car, stock setup. I guess you just got to do so much more work with all the inputs than you're used to with an MR car. Super soft, a lot of mechanical grip. You're shifting the weight so much, and yeah.
Yeah, Tony Cal and Arctic start was wild. We saw a couple of other really strong starts too.
Yeah, some people will be happy to see the car go. Others, maybe Delps, would like to see it stay. But...
yeah, that's for sure. And so you got to go get ready for your manufacturer race, don't you?
Yeah, I've got to run. I forgot my coffee. I forgot my ritual, my routine. Nothing. I'm in the deep end, but it's going to be a really interesting race. It's all going to be won or lost on strategy, I feel. It's going to be interesting what people are going to do, because this is a tire burner.
Yes, it is.
And,
yes, it is.
You're here on the stream. Listen out for the screaming tires. A lot of people are going to be doing everything they can to stop that sound. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, for everyone at home, all you have to do is refresh your browser in about 30 seconds. While it's going to go live on his PC, and I'll see you over there. Winter, good luck with your race, and thanks for commentating.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me again.
No problem. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, everyone.